In this series, I will be going over the individual level routes for each mission in Perfect Dark Zero, on the agent difficulty, that is. I'm going to mainly be focusing on the most optimal routes, although I will bring up more intermediate strategies for some of the more tricky and luck-based sections of the game. For the first level, you'll need a rocket launcher in your first slot and a flash grenade in your second slot. The first thing we're going to do after skipping the cutscene is fire the rocket launcher immediately at the door to get rid of the spider bots, and then quickly switch to our flash grenade and then put it away as the door is opening, just like this. Ignore Chandra here and just roll into the laser. Now this is where we get to the box skip, which is a little difficult. We have a general idea of how this trick is done, but we kind of don't know exactly how it works, if you understand my meaning. You're just going to want to run at the box at sort of an up left angle on the analog while punching with the right trigger. You want the punch to kind of connect just as you run into the box. The trick kind of seems dependent on how the box breaks, but ideally it'll look kind of like this. Now that wasn't a completely ideal box skip. You can tell she kind of stumbled upon hitting the ground. You'll know when she stumbles because she slows down a bit and grunts very loud. That happens when you fall from a very high distance. You want to kind of wait for the box to, because it kind of flips, you'll notice when you're doing the box skip. You want to wait for it to get closer to the ground before you exactly run off of it. As soon as you pass these blue lasers, there are turrets that are going to start shooting at you. If you kind of hug the right side running through here, they usually won't hit you. This next part isn't nearly as tricky as it looks. What you're going to do is, before you take a right here around this next corner, you're going to want to take out your flash grenade and throw it as soon as you see the door. Now, that lets you avoid having to shoot out the camera that closes the door. There's an alternative way to throw the flash that I'm going to show, and I'm also going to show it so you can see how lenient the timing is on when the flash needs to hit the door. Up here, you just hope you don't get shot as you're running through and you solve the puzzle like normal. After you solve this puzzle, you're going to want to take out your rocket launcher, and then the second your rocket launcher is out, you're going to want to put it away and then roll through the door as it's opening. If you're not sure whether you put away your rocket launcher in time or not, don't worry about it, because right after we complete this section, you can do a unarmed start before the cutscene ends, so that the rocket launcher is put away anyways. I'll get into that after this section's completed. Now there's these little battery things that you're going to be shooting that are in these vents that will turn off the laser grid blocking your way. These things are very finicky about whether or not they want to actually turn off. So you're going to want to hit the right trigger multiple times as you shoot each one. It's kind of hard to get used to moving forward while also changing which direction you're looking, but it's just something you got to practice. Now, after you fall down this pit right here, your cam spy can sometimes get stuck into the floor. Now, what you apparently want to do to avoid this is kind of jiggle your analog back and forth before you hit the ground, and the safest spot to land is dead center of the little hallway you're coming up to.
You got it. You made it, Joe. The CPU is dead ahead.
If you're not sure whether or not you put away your rocket launcher in time, you don't want to skip this cutscene just yet. What you're going to want to do is press A and up on the D-pad at almost the exact same time, but A just slightly before. And what that will do is skip the cutscene, and Joanna will have her rocket launcher put away as soon as the level starts again. This is called an unarmed start. We'll be using it in more missions later. Here you're going to want to take out your rocket launcher as you turn this corner and fire it sort of in the middle of the little container the scientist is held in to make sure you hit every single spider bot. Now, this scientist is one of the worst human beings to ever walk the earth. Once you rescue him and he starts moving towards you, you're going to want to run over to the computer to your left. And as he's running over to the computer, he will say a line. There's a variety of different lines he could say, and I'm not exactly sure on the chances that he says the best one, but to give you an idea of how unlikely it is, I once got a 4-minute 38-second time on this level where the entire thing wasn't recorded. So when I decided to recreate that time, I, over multiple different days, did 8-hour streams not getting the line, and I think this took place over like 3 or 4 days. So yeah, this part will end a lot of runs if you're going for like a world record time, and that's also why I would recommend this level be saved for maybe later after you get a feel of the game.
Those spider bots were gonna have me for lunch. Give me a second. I'll get the door powered up.
Now that's his best possible line. Again, the chances of getting it are pretty low. It'll require a lot of grinding. But after he says his line, he will turn around to work on the computer. If you press the right bumper, Joanna will slap to disarm. And as long as you do it as he's working on the computer or as he's leaning down to work on it, it will skip this entire thing and just open the door immediately. Now, the spider bots on the ground as you run through here will sometimes attack you, so it's pretty much a safe idea to punch them as you run through. Don't punch the ones with the bright yellow eyes though, because they explode. Also, another thing about the scientist is I once had a best line from him on one run, and he shot one of the explosive ones as I ran past it, ruining the run completely. So he will still sometimes try to screw you over at this point, so just be careful. It can be kind of difficult to get that door to actually open without punching the spider bot. Also, sometimes you can accidentally get into cover on the door. So be careful about that. And if the door still opens and you accidentally get in the cover, as long as you get out of cover quickly enough, the door shouldn't be open by the time you run back over to go through it. So you should be fine. Just your priority should be making sure you actually hit the button. Don't worry about not getting in the cover.
Trying to mate with the door switch. Shoot it and get out. You need a bigger gun? Grab something from the gun lockers up ahead.
Ideally, this guard will be close enough that he opened the first door and he will be running down the hallway firing, causing him to also open the second door. This saves a tiny bit of time, but if you don't get it, I wouldn't reset over it. Once again, you can punch the spider bots with red eyes. Don't punch the ones with the glowing yellow eyes. And sometimes the guards will shoot the spider bots as you're running past them, which, causes you to take damage and loses time. You just gotta hope you get lucky here. Now up here, you're going to want to take out your rocket launcher and use it to push the scientists out of this door right here. It saves a bit of time because it skips some dialogue. Up here, you're going to want to toss out your rocket launcher and get a laptop gun. Now, it's not known whether or not shooting the spider bots in this area and in the room by the elevator saves any time. I do it anyways because I just feel like it saves time. That's just me. Now you want to have your flash grenade out when you get on the elevator. I start priming it as I'm going up the elevator in this run, but it's not exactly the fastest way to do it, considering you have to, you run slower with a flash with a weapon out. So the fastest way to do it would be to wait until you get like halfway out the room and then pull it out and toss it. I do it early just so they don't shoot at me as I'm running out of the place. And you'll also see that I throw every flash I have, which is also slower because it makes me switch to my laptop gun. My ending here wasn't really ideal. It could have been done with less flash grenades and, with less time holding the flash grenades.
Security are onto you. Stay in cover and take them out.
Make sure when you get on the elevator up here that you're spamming the A button so that the elevator actually starts heading up to the rocket. You're going to look in the same direction I do here and take out your laptop gun to start sniping the guys in the jetpacks. You won't be able to get all of them because some of them are waiting at the top for you that you can't see, but you're going to want to take out as many as possible to lower the chances of you getting shot as you're running for the end of the level. Now you just run to the end, hope you don't get shot, and that'll be the end of the level and the end for my first tutorial for individual levels in Perfect Dark Zero. Thanks for watching.